welcome you to the Big Ten on ESPN and our top 25 matchup, Minnesota and Iowa. And we welcome you to the Barn Williams Arena here in Minneapolis. I'm Beth Mowins alongside Debbie Antonelli. We have two of the top three scorers in the conference, Debbie, including the best scorer in America right now, Megan Gustafson.
I've been waiting all day. I mean, I'm so excited to watch this matchup. Megan Gustafson is a ticket-selling player. This is a can't-miss, must-see player. She's so good offensively. She's got every shot around the blocks, and she enjoys playing block-to-block, running rim-to-rim. She's got the hook, the go-to. She can counter. She has outstanding footwork. She's had a double-double in every game this season with the exception of one. They lost that game to Florida State on a neutral site. She is so good around the basket, and she's got good balance on the perimeter to counter what she can do inside.
An outstanding talent and perhaps the advantage for Iowa in the paint. Conversely, for Minnesota, they've got the speed on the perimeter with Kenesha Bell, the fifth-year senior from right here in Minneapolis, dropping 18 a game. Look at the numbers she put up in their 3 games, taking 2 out of 3 last year against Iowa.
It's all about speed, and for Kenesha Bell, end-to-end with the ball in her hands, she is the fastest player in the Big Ten. Can her speed dictate the tempo which Minnesota will need to play with for them to be able to win at home against Iowa, who wants to play a little bit more of a deliberate pace?
15 years ago, Lindsay Whalen was playing on this court, helping Minnesota get to their first and their only women's Final Four. Now, back at her alma mater, the first-year head coach matching wits with the dean of the Big Ten coaching profession, Lisa Bluder, now in her 19th season. And Lindsay was telling us, if I can have anywhere near the longevity that Lisa has had, the fun and the success that Bluder has had, I will consider myself a success here at Minnesota. Lisa is the winningest coach in Iowa history. Hawkeyes in the road black jerseys and the Gophers in their own gold, and right off the bounce for Bell.
The screen on the elbow, and Bell turns the corner to attack Gustafson. That's one way to keep her from having a big night, put some pressure on her on the defensive end.
Doyle using the Gustafson screen and the rebound and the stick back for Megan.
Just so you know, around the basket, she is a left-handed player, but you won't know it the way she can score with her left and her right. And she shoots 70% from the floor.
Another play set up with the dribble drive. Offensive rebound here for the Golden Gophers. And that's Ty Bello, who is second best in the league behind Gustafson on the glass. And one of the best offensive rebounders in the country. That is starting 5 for the Hawkeyes. Meyer Gustafson, Tania Davis, Hannah Stewart, and Kathleen Doyle, who's playing in just her 9th game of the season, returning from a hand injury and a significant factor for the rest of the season for Iowa.
And one of the reasons why Kathleen Doyle is such a factor is the 8 games she missed at the beginning of the season, they turned it over 16 times a game. Since she's been back, they only turned it over 12 times. Lisa Bluder said she's their best perimeter defender, and she comes up with a steal.
She'll have to deal with the likes of Destiny Pitts, who was last year's Big Ten Freshman of the Year in the starting lineup for Minnesota, 3 and gold. Another touch for Gustafson.
And they're playing her straight up, Beth. This is something we saw Minnesota work on in shoot around. They're going to try to stick with a straight up isolation on defense.
And there is Pitts with fast break points, and the Golden Gophers want a bunch of those tonight. They want the pace to be just like that. Gustafson. Annalise Lamke is trying to match up with her 1v1, and Gustafson with another bucket.
You can't rattle Megan Gustafson. She has tremendous poise for a post player. And this could be a long night for Minnesota if they play her straight up one-on-one based on the way she started the game. Leads the nation 70% from the floor.
Incredible number from Megan. Over to help out on the block on the drive. Hicks will try and clean it up with a 3, no good. Another offensive rebound. Good work by Bello. And the kick out for 3, Jasmine Brunson.
Brunson, a 41% three-point threat for Minnesota off the offensive rebound. A terrific time to get a three.
Gustafson, a good pass down low to Hannah Stewart, the 6'2 senior out of Minot, North Dakota.
Look how quickly they turn and score to the post play for Iowa. Even if you were going to bring a double team, they're so quick to get into their release.
Hits for three. Trying to stretch the floor, and they've doubled up Iowa early on. Gustafson, boy, so quick to get that shot up.
I mean, come on, this is awesome. She leads the nation in scoring. She's already scored 3 buckets with her left hand. Half little hook shots around the rim.
Going 3 for 4. She's improving on that 70% shooting number.
I asked Lisa Bluter today, how many shots has she made this season when she did not use the glass? She's like, I have no idea.
There she goes again. 4 for 5.
Too easy, man, too easy. She's got all their points. Well, she's got 8 of their 10.
Math was never your strong suit. It's a 2-point game. It's a fun back and forth to start. And playing out as we expected. A lot of Gustafson and the speed and the shooting for Minnesota to set the tone and set the pace. And the pull-up for Kenesha Bell, her first bucket.
What a tough two. And Lisa Bluter said, hey, we'll play good D, we'll contest, and Bell will just make shots. She's that good.
Gustafson and one.
Oh, my goodness. Come on. The anticipation was so high to watch Megan Gustafson. This is the second time I've seen her live. There's a terrific counter. One-on-one, I don't think you can guard her. And her WNBA stock continues to rise.
First foul on Annalise Lamke. Palma Kaposhi will come on now for Minnesota as Gustafson knocks down the free throw. 11 points of the 13 for Iowa.
In 4.5 minutes.
And her teammates, Debbie, love setting her up for success like this. They love playing alongside her. Bell off the mark, good box out.
I think Minnesota needs to be a little more patient and try to attack Gustafson on the defensive end. She only has 23 assists on the season, so she is a willing passer, but she doesn't look to pass very often. Now that's a terrific time on the skip from Gustafson to attack the rim.
Alexis Civilian off the bounce. 78% shooting for Iowa right now. They're on a 9-2 run to grab the lead.
You can see both teams a little winded. We haven't had much of a stoppage in play. Baskets, everybody's scoring, no fouls, no one turning it over. This is great.
End to end at the barn. Davis, the kick out, Civilian, got it!
Hey, with the lights in here and with the color of this floor, to me, there's no question this is a shooter's gym. Iowa has made 7 consecutive field goals by 3 different players, I believe.
And it all starts with getting the touches inside for Gustafson, and then everybody else can play off of her and find their own space. Shot clock winding down. Pitts will launch.
The shot clock had a malfunction. When I looked up at it, it had 48 on it.
Neither team has threatened to come anywhere near 48 on the shot clock with the pace here tonight at the barn. And an 18-14 road lead for Iowa and Megan Gustafson.
Megan Gustafson, just as advertised, leads the nation in scoring. She's been terrific. 6 baskets on the inside out of 7 shot attempts.
The homegrown talent, Lindsay Whalen from Hutchinson, Minnesota. And what a hire by the athletic director, Mark Coyle, to bring her home after she retired from the WNBA this past summer with 4 world championships with the Minnesota Lynx. Now back here at Minnesota. They got off to a great start, 12-0 to the season. They went as high as, number 12 in the country, but now 3 straight losses. Life is a little different once you get into league play. And the Hawkeyes have hit their last 7 shots to go on a 12-2 run to grab the lead here.
I mean,
Gustafson is just going to work.
This is just absolutely gorgeous.
So what's the counter here, Debbie? For Minnesota, she's hit 6 of 7 shots.
Lindsay Whalen today in shoot-around only worked on one way to defend Megan Gustafson, and that was playing her straight up. I mean, can she get 70? She's gotten 48 on them before. I mean, honestly, 70 is ridiculous, but I mean, can she get another 40?
I don't think you mind if you're winning the game, right? I mean, you'd rather she not.
That's
but
right. If you're
right now they're down 6, and she's the reason why.
You stay within a couple of possessions. What happens is, over time, if no one else takes shots, there's more duress in taking shots for Iowa if they don't have a balance to what she does offensively. You know what I mean? So, like, they pass around the perimeter and they get it into her, and if no one else shoots the ball, then eventually, at some point, someone else is going to have to make a shot.
Yep. Right now, they are. The team is over 80%. Now, let's see if Minnesota, they've been forced to, because so many shots are going in, they can't rebound and run. They've been forced to play a half-court game here, primarily.
Well, that's what Iowa plans on, right? That's how they control the tempo, make them take it out of the net.
Kaposhi, no. Tracking down the rebound is Civilian.
And Gustafson does her work early. Like, even if you try to meet her at the nail and force her to go away from ball side, it's very challenging to do so.
Everybody getting a touch here for Iowa. And now they're going to be rushed. 5 on the shot clock. Civilian just has to pitch one up towards the rim, and it will go to the Gophers.
Now, you can see the intensity for Minnesota on the defensive end has picked up a notch. I mean, that time Iowa cycling too uncomfortably through the way they like to play. You've got to affect their rhythm. If you just let them catch and shoot and move and cut where they want, they'll get it into Gustafson all game.
And they've started out this year really hanging their hat on their defense. They're the 4th best scoring defense in the Big Ten, and under Lindsay Whalen here in her first year, they've improved statistically in just about every category. From a team that last year went 24-9 and went to the second round of the NCAA tournament, and then Marlene Stallings resigned and took the job at Texas Tech, which opened the door for Lindsay to come home or stay home.
Yeah, it's a brilliant hire by Minnesota. I can't imagine anybody being more suited to be here. She was such a beloved player during her time.
We've got a shot clock issue right now. Don't forget that coming up at 9 Eastern, over 9 Eastern on ESPN, we've got on the men's side Texas and Kansas, the Jayhawks winners of 9 in a row and 13 of 14 in the series with the Horns. It's also available on your ESPN app.
I mean, Bill Self's only won 14 straight Big 12 championships.
Doing all right there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing pretty good.
Minnesota without a field goal for 3.5 minutes. They've missed their last 4 shots. See who gets a look here. Lemke and a foul. They attack inside with Gustafson right now over on the sideline.
Good patience in that set by Minnesota. How about Lemke, Beth? What a senior year she's having.
A reserve for her first 3 seasons, moving into the starting lineup this year. And she excited about the opportunity to match up against Gustafson, but so far Megan has really been strong. She has hit 6 of her first 7 shots, 13 points to help the visitors grab the early lead as we approach 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
I'm telling you, the Big Ten is all about offense.
Way to get after that, Antonelli.
Oh, I still got a little handle left. Not much.
Only double dribbled once or twice there, trying to get it back out onto the court.
I am within range, just so you know.
In range when you walk in the gym. All right, let's see where Iowa goes offensively without Gustafson.
I think you go inside right here to Stewart. She scored on the low block tonight already. Well, look
Trying
at
to
Pitts.
step around Pitts and took an extra step.
Pitts did a great job. When she countered with her footwork, Pitts closed up that space, got right up into her with her chest. That is a terrific defensive job. Watch this. She's going to turn and pivot, and then Pitts closes it down.
Bucket on the other end for Kenesha Bell. Kenesha's hit 3 of her 5 shots, 6 points in the quarter. And the turnover forced by Minnesota.
It's Minnesota's defense right now. The last couple of possessions, they have played with a higher degree of intensity. It's one of the things that we heard Lindsay Whalen talking to her team about at home. Your energy and your passion and your will to play has to be greater than Iowa's tonight.
An extremely disappointing home loss to Illinois last week. As Bell will pull up and get the bounce. She said never, she was telling her team today at shoot-around, never again will somebody come into our house and outwork us. And she gave Illinois a lot of credit for that upset win. It's going to be a heck of a season this year in the Big Ten with tremendous parity.
I think parity is actually really a word in the women's game this year.
Nationwide. That is 3 straight turnovers on their last 3 possessions.
It's the defense that's speeding up Iowa, and that's where your tempo, your quickness has to become a factor, and that's where Lindsay Whalen has her team playing. Coming off that first time out, they've changed their rhythm on their defensive end.
Chance now for the Gophers to grab the lead back. There's Bell, she's their go-to, averaging 18 a game. That's 3rd best in the Big Ten. Pitts can't get it. Gustafson high up for the rebound. And essentially just a couple seconds shot and game clock they can hold for 1. He's swinging around to Gustafson. Back out to Tania Davis. Gets it up and down for 3.
Good job to kick it out and repost by Gustafson, and that gave Davis room.
Bell will try and create on her own, and Gustafson bothered the shot. And the Iowa Hawkeyes will take the lead into the 2nd quarter. Megan Gustafson channeling a little Kareem Abdul-Jabbar so far tonight.
Check out this move right here. Terrific job with the left. Goes to the half hook. Again, the counter inside. Terrific. And 1. Megan Gustafson.
Well, for the Iowa Hawkeyes, we talked about Megan Gustafson. A little sky hook action, a little baby hook action right there. She actually picked it up. After she met Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at a function at Iowa, Debbie, she got on the YouTube and started looking up old footage of Kareem, and with the help of her assistant coaches, taught herself how to shoot the hook shot, which she's turned into a lethal weapon.
It's remarkable. In her whole career in a very small town of Fort Wayne, Wisconsin, she has been the player that everyone has tried to stop from scoring, doubles and triple teams, and all she did was add another layer to her game. She figured out how to shoot the hook shot, and now I think that's part of the reason why she's going to, as they go back door, what a beautiful play off the timeout.
To Doyle.
That's part of the reason why her WNBA stock has gone up to me, guys, is because she can shoot a hook shot, and not many players in the league can shoot it as consistently as she can.
Youngsters that don't remember Kareem, get on your Google machines and check them out. And for Gustafson, the opportunities are opening up for her next year when she moves on to the league. By the way, you mentioned the pride of Fort Wayne, Wisconsin, and the South Shore High School Cardinals. We think half the town is here. Megan said they had a couple of busloads making their way from up near Lake Superior to come on down.
She gave us a number. She said 164 people in her town, and they were coming to the game.
Nice putback right there from Bello. We've got the top 2 rebounders in the Big Ten tonight. 3 in transition. Gustafson with a rebound, and then slapped away by Bell. 3-on-2 break. Gophers spotting up for 3. Pitts. No, and a foul on the rebound.
I love that decision in transition by Kenesha Bell. Look, Bell's having a big game. She's got 8 points, but she recognizes that Pitts has hit a 3 already tonight. And on a 3-on-2 opportunity, it's a great decision to kick it out to the best 3-point shooter for Minnesota.
Lemke trying to back down on Gustafson, goes to the left side, and the weak side board for Hannah Stewart.
Gustafson is so good about staying out of foul trouble.
Brunson will be whistled for the foul here on the drive by Doyle, the junior from LaGrange Park, Illinois.
What a smart take by Doyle, because as Gustafson runs rim to rim, Doyle just penetrates right behind her rim run. It's a perfect time to try to go off the bounce.
And critical, her leadership and ball handling skills in particular for Iowa since she's come back. Remind you that Saturday is going to be a big day for sports fans on all the ESPN networks. How about the blockbuster action on the court from the NBA to that Virginia-Duke game to Fight Night for the UFC? All coming your way, ABC and the ESPN networks, including Lakers-Rockets in prime time on ABC.
They go to their horns, and Bell dives. Bello dives from the high post. Simple play to put some pressure on Megan Gustafson. I like the call by Lindsay Whalen. Look, both these coaches are very good offensively, right? Their teams will execute and have good habits.
That time they swarmed Gustafson on the low block as soon as she got a touch. 3 defenders nearby, and Pitts takes it all the way to the other end. That is 8 turnovers now for Iowa. And Minnesota has turned this around with its defense. Chance here to grab the lead.
I think she got
inside.
away with a walk.
Extra step on the home floor. And a 1-point lead for Minnesota. Knocked away by Bello. Bell. Up and in. Timeout, Iowa. From Minnesota, they're up 3. I think she walked too.
She did.
Thank you, John. Little 5-girl love, little big girl love for Gustafson in the first quarter, but now the defense has made this all about the turnovers forced by Minnesota as Iowa gets the bucket. 12 points off of takeaways for the Golden Gophers that momentarily had them back on top.
A really good timeout by Lisa Bluter. Again, her team coming off a timeout, attacking Minnesota. It's a good drive by Tania Davis.
See if they can get Gustafson involved again. Terrific ball pressure here for Minnesota. And then they force another turnover.
And that's what Lindsay Whalen's team has done a much better job of. They are really overplaying the passing lanes. Their ball pressure has been outstanding. And just like when she was a player, Lindsay Whalen to me always looks the same. Never gets too high or too low. An incredible thinker of the game. Sees the game so well. Saw it from the top of the floor as the point guard. Now she sees it from the side of the floor as the coach.
All-American here at Minnesota, went on to win a couple of Olympic gold medals and the 4 World Championships in the WNBA with the hometown Lynx. That's an offensive foul just a second ago on Annalise Lamke. She will sit down, and there's Whalen's number and jersey retired, hanging up here in the rafters in the barn.
Switching to a little zone.
Iowa is just all out of sorts here in this second quarter offensively.
Remember that word I said in the first quarter, offensive duress. Others are being forced to have to make plays because Megan Gustafson is not getting touches.
Does not have a shot attempt yet in this second quarter. Hits. Got another 3 ball.
Her second triple.
10 points for Destiny here in the first half. And a 13-3 run for Minnesota. A response from Tania Davis, senior who has overcome 2 ACL injuries and surgeries to get back in the lineup for Iowa.
Iowa working really hard in their zone. It results in a turnover. Good ball pressure by Iowa that possession. You got to force Minnesota to play a little east and west there instead of letting them play right down the middle of the floor. They've been playing in the shoot, scoring points from the top of the key into the paint.
Davis tried to get the no-look inside to Gustafson, and Minnesota able to take it away. And down on the deck, fighting for the loose ball, and it's out of bounds to Minnesota.
Mackenzie Meyer on the ground looking at the officials like, was that 1st and 10 or was that out of bounds?
Well, one of the things that Whalen talked about at their shoot-around today, we want to set the tone, we want to set the pace in our house tonight. And after a shaky start, they figured out how to ratchet up the defense, and now the reach-in foul is going to be called on Doyle. It's going to be her second foul, so she will depart.
See, and Doyle knows she's going to have to go to the bench if she does that. And just like coaches got to be able to trust their players, players got to know that coaches are going to take you out if you get a second.
See if that affects this one adversely with 4.5 to go in the second quarter. Again, that's your leader and your top ball handler. They've already turned it over 8 times in this quarter and scored just 3 buckets. That will stay here with Minnesota.
Well, both teams working really hard to try to get the ball inside, right? And that's, you just got to have the right angle. Minnesota lucky to hang on to that one.
Pitts looking for 3 more, and that's her 3rd of this first half.
Pitts, you go ahead and you shoot till your arm falls off. 3 triples in the first half.
Sophomore out of Detroit leading the charge here for Minnesota.
Gustafson really working hard inside.
They force the outside shot and the long rebound of the Gophers, and a reach-in foul and some frustration right here for Iowa. Amanda Ollinger.
Good out-of-bounds play. Just a simple, what I call another one of those blobs that's America's play. I mean, everybody runs that out-of-bounds play. Screen the baseline, come off as a passer from out of bounds. Come off that screen and knock down a triple. That time,
Pitts got a little too wide open. Not a nice screen by her teammate. Civilian for 3, and quick to shoot that one without getting Gustafson a touch. Bell with the push, and she'll get to the line.
Another really good decision in transition by Kanisha Bell. Remember we said in the beginning, end-to-end, fastest player in the Big Ten with the ball in her hands. I asked her today if there was anyone faster. She didn't think so. This is just a great attack. You see the defense on their heels. You don't see 2 shoulders, 2 hips. In front of you, you go.
Interesting, Kanisha was telling us today, she transferred in from Marquette, so she sat out the 2016 season and would often run in practice with her coach, Lindsay Whalen, and another Minnesota legend, Rachel Banham, who would come back here and play.
Scout team.
And she was on the same scout team with them. Said it's been great to be able to just feed off of the coach fresh out of the WNBA. So much knowledge to pass on. There's another takeaway. The turnover's really hurting the Hawkeyes. Gustafson corrals it, under 3 to go in the half.
Well, I think they absolutely have to get a touch to Megan Gustafson in this possession. There are times when she's open, they've got to be ready to deliver.
There she is, around and out. And a one-and-done trip there. That was her first shot, Debbie, of this second quarter.
Better than a long three that fuels the transition game. If you're going to miss at the rim, at least they can get back and set their D.
Bello goes to the right. No. Offensive rebound. And then Gustafson with a block.
Megan Gustafson wants to potentially be in finance. Did an internship in some commercial banking this summer.
She's got the rebound right there.
She knows how to collect some dividends on that end of the floor, doesn't she?
13 points now, 7 boards. Quick to get it into her. Double down on Stewart, and the dig forces the help ball, and it goes to the Gophers.
Isn't that interesting how they dig on Stewart and bring the help this time, but they still play straight up with Megan Gustafson. And see, there's one point guard talking to another right there, even though Kanisha Bell says that, Brunson runs a lot of the point this year. Bell certainly makes a lot of decisions for this team.
Big turnaround for Minnesota here in the second quarter and a 7-point lead. But scoreless in the second. And the turnovers have been doing the damage. Iowa with 10 giveaways in this quarter, and that has allowed Minnesota to hop on top.
Well, I think the tempo and the rhythm of the game has been established by Lindsay Whalen's team. Early on, Gustafson was 6 for 7, right? And now they've changed their D, they've changed up their tempo, they've been much more aggressive with their ball pressure.
Kanisha Bell out of the timeout, halfway down and then pop back out. Gustafson, who's got 14 double-doubles in 15 games, is close to one now in the half.
See, Iowa's been pretty good after timeouts.
Look at the fight by Bello to front Gustafson and really try and push her out of the lane. Five on the shot clock. Davis on the drive, heaves it up.
Well, there's been a lot of contact.
And a foul will be called here on Pitts.
Good sportsmanship by Megan Gustafson. Lends a hand to help Pitts up off the floor.
Bell
Bell.
Taking a hit there. I couldn't tell if it was knee to knee or she got the wind knocked out of her. Struggling a bit right now defensively at the top of the key. Oh, the miss inside by Gustafson, and then the foul. Going to go on Hannah Stewart. That's the first on her, but the 5th team foul, so a couple of free throws here for Minnesota. Kaposhi's only a 40% shooter. Rounding out our NBA Wednesday doubleheader tips off with Boston and Toronto. And then the second game, Golden State and the Pelicans. Coverage begins with NBA Countdown at 7 on ESPN and the ESPN app. And the Raptors right now, the top team in the East, Golden State. Half a game out of the top spot in the West behind the surprising Denver Nuggets.
You got a chance here for what you would call a 2-for-1. That means Iowa has a chance to get 2 possessions right here if they can score quickly.
Gustafson steps away. Meyer off the bounce, short. Gustafson, second chance, her first basket of this quarter. About a 4-second differential, shot and game clock.
Iowa staying in the man-to-man. I'm surprised they don't switch to their zone right here for this last possession.
Bell off the bounce. Got it.
That's why I would have switched to zone.
Civilian off the mark. Pulled up for 3 when they still had time to get closer to the rim. And that's what her teammate Tania Davis is telling her right there. 40-32, a big second quarter for the Minnesota Golden Gophers, and they will take the lead into the locker room here at the barn. And now let's get you back to the studio and John Brickley. Hawkeyes and the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Iowa owned the first quarter. Minnesota changed things around with their defense, scoring 18 points off of turnovers in that first half of play, and they lead it 40-32. Beth Mowins along with Debbie Antonelli. We told you about Megan Gustafson, and we told you about Kenesha Bell to start the game, and they were the 2 go-tos in that first half.
Check and checkmate, if you will. I mean, Megan Gustafson was terrific to start the game. They got the ball inside. She was in rhythm. Iowa took care of the ball. They got the shots that they wanted. They were dictating the tempo, and they were playing through Gustafson. She was fantastic. 13 points in the first quarter to finish with 15 at the half. Kenesha Bell, though, had a different plan, and that was to attack, to play with speed, to get out in the open floor, to do what she does well, get into the mid-range game. I thought her decision-making was terrific. She had 14 points. She played all 20 minutes. She didn't have any turnovers. That's good, and a good sign for Minnesota and their tempo-changing defense in the second quarter.
So now how does Iowa respond? Gustafson hit 6 of her 7 shots in the first quarter, was 1 for 3 in the second quarter as the Golden Gophers took her away defensively and took over the game.
Let's see if Iowa can play with a little more poise. They do a good job of reversing the basketball, and Minnesota's going to start out with a zone.
Gustafson able to go right around Lemke for 2.
And Iowa will start in a zone as well, Beth.
Looked like some inadvertent contact between Gustafson and Bello. This is significant for these 2 teams because neither one has gotten off to the conference start they would have liked. They are far down the standings right now and don't want to get too far away. Rutgers is undefeated atop the league with the 3 other teams at 4-1.
Well, we started the season in the preseason poll as Gustafson falls short on that jumper. 2 teams in the Big Ten were ranked. That was Maryland and Iowa. And now we have Iowa and Minnesota. You've got Maryland, you've got Rutgers, you've got Indiana, you've got Michigan State.
League is looking like it's going to be very deep and very competitive. And the basket is good for 3, Tania Davis.
Tania Davis has made some good decisions running the point for Lisa Bluter as well. That's 4 for 5 from the floor for Davis.
Good start for the visitors coming out of the locker room. Good help defense. Stewart able to knock it away.
Here's something else to keep your eye on, Beth. Right now, Megan Gustafson doesn't have any personal fouls. Okay, she can maintain her aggressiveness, maybe even take it up a notch as the game goes on. Same for Bella, who's been defending in that matchup most of the game. She only has 1 foul, and Lemke has 1 as well. Excuse me, make that 2.
Brunson couldn't put that down. It's going to stay with Minnesota. couple of hesitations.
Really nice.
Didn't have the finish.
I think Bell can get by anybody she wants at any time on the floor.
Doyle directing traffic, gets it back from Stewart. They'll play a little two-man game, and Doyle gets into the lane and gets fouled.
Kathleen Doyle missed those first 7 games of the season with a broken hand. This was her 9th game back.
Coming in second in the league in assists at about 7 per game in conference play. Couldn't get the first one to go down.
Well, they didn't play like it in the first half, but overall, Iowa's rhythm is better when she's on the floor. Those games she missed, they turned it over 16 times a game. Now she's back. They only turned it over 12, but they turned it over 14 in the first half.
And now it's Minnesota in a bit of a funk. They've only hit one of their last 10 shots, dating back to the second quarter. And that's allowed Iowa to go on a 6-0 run here to start up the third. Baseline drive, they find Bell. Good relocation on the perimeter. And look at Bello fighting for the board. And gets fouled by Mackenzie Myers.
Well, that's really good individual work by Bello on the glass. I've got her with 5 offensive rebounds, Beth.
She's one of the best in the country at that, coming in 4th best in the nation. And there's another bump as they get on the glass. That's going to go on Hannah Stewart. And that'll be her second. That'll get Lampe to the line. 78% on the season. Gustafson will come out.
Interesting that you take her out on an offensive possession.
And just 3 minutes into this quarter.
Jan Jensen, the longtime assistant for Lisa Bluter over there. She handles the post, talking to Megan Gustafson.
Well, they're probably not thrilled right now. They've given up a lot of old boards here to start out this second half. Davis right down the lane. Nobody stopped ball.
Straight line drive.
Down 8 at the break, and the Hawkeyes have quickly chipped away at that deficit. Skip pass, picked off, and a chance now for the lead. Got a foul on the screening action going to go against Davis.
Actually, I think it was on a post-up. It's the first time we've seen a call like that tonight. It's been very physical on the block. Davis with a straight line drive. She's only missed 1 shot tonight.
And Lisa Bluter's thinking the same thing. She's not sure where that foul was. And now the foul on the Hawkeyes in the paint.
The Iowa personal number 25, Monica Sanano.
That's Sanano.
That's her
Second foul on Monica. So the next one will put Minnesota into the bonus.
The Iowa substitution 5, Alexis Civilian, replacing Clay Mackenzie.
Now they'll get Civilian and also Gustafson back into the game. So a quick breath for Megan. Lampe, try from out top. Stewart's got it.
Lampe was working on that 3 today. Remember we were talking to Lindsay Whalen? And you see the long 3 and the poor shot selection leads to a transition opportunity for Iowa. Iowa on a 10-1 run.
A lot of basketball coming your way on Saturday, including Duke and Virginia. from Cameron. That's going to be fantastic, as well as NBA action and the UFC.
Iowa in a triangle and 2 to come out of the timeout. Changing up the defense a little bit.
Minnesota has been flummoxed, Debbie. They've hit just one of their last 13 shots and have yet to make a bucket here in the third.
Gustafson is open. You got to throw it in there. It's the first time in the game, and we've had 3 of them now. Calls on the block for trying to reduce the physicality. Interesting.
How so? Second foul on Bello.
Yeah, because we didn't have any in the first half like that. Now we've had 3 in the third quarter. It's confusing, I think, for players.
Yeah.
And coaches and what they teach. That's that consistency thing.
Gustafson trying to go to work on Lamke, denied and turned back by Annalise.
Repost.
Davis, no. Terrific box out by the women in gold. Here comes Kenesha Bell. Can she get them off the schneid? She'll take it herself and knock it down.
What a tough 2 by Kenesha Bell. I like her game, and I like her swagger, and she is a smart basketball player.
Stewart counters with 2.
21, Hannah Stewart.
Bell operating now up top with Brunson out of the game. She gets tripped up.
She just tripped on her own feet that time.
Davis floats one and knocks it down.
I love the floater. When you are Tania Davis's size, she's listed at 5'3", maybe. You got to learn how to control the ground and make shots like that.
Senior out of Flint, Michigan, helping Iowa to a 14-3 run, and she'll try and add 2 more.
What a terrific floor game. Tania Davis might need a little break. She looks fatigued. Got to dig deep, Beth. It's conference time. 2-3 zone, and we only saw 1 possession of that triangle and 2 by Lisa Bluder's team.
Pitts misses the 3. Doyle drops it off for Stewart. Whatever was said in the locker room from Lisa Bluder is working right now for Iowa.
How about don't turn the ball over? Or something like that.
18-3 run. The strip.
Now this is where Minnesota's got to move the ball and not try to do it by themselves or get it all back at once.
Bello, no.
Good box out. Boy, she got away with a lot.
Yes, she did. The kick out. Stewart fouled. Iowa's making all the hustle plays right now.
Remember what Lindsay Whalen said to her team today? We told you earlier, energy, passion, and who's going to have a greater will. To start the third quarter, it has been Iowa. Trailed at the half,
Lead going to break. Tania Davis has half of Iowa's 18 points here in the third quarter, and a big reason why they've turned this completely around.
confidence, understanding, balance between the 3 and the ability to drive. We've seen the triple, we've seen the straight line drive, we've seen the floater. Down 8 at the break, up 7. And Tania Davis is 4 for 5 here in the third quarter. That's a 15-point turnaround behind the play of the point guard for Iowa.
Meanwhile, Minnesota has hit just 1 of its 10 shots. And Stewart at the line to try and pad the Hawkeye lead.
Hannah Stewart is a wonderful compliment to Megan Gustafson, isn't she? I mean, she rebounds, she can score, she can step away from the block and hit face-up jumpers, she makes free throws, she rebounds.
Debbie, you brought it up Gustafson dominated in the first quarter, and then when she was quiet, none of the other Hawkeyes stepped up in the second quarter. Now everybody is a part of it for Iowa here in the third, and a 20-3 run.
Well, they're not turning the ball over, and that was part of what fueled the transition game and the up-tempo play of Minnesota. So their defense has got to get back at it.
Bell gets stripped. Doyle able to take it away.
I don't know where Bell was going. There was nowhere to go in that gap.
Doyle looking for three.
Good hustle.
Held ball will go to the Gophers. So what's the response now from Minnesota? 2:08 to go in the third. And they're trying to avoid a fourth consecutive loss after starting out the season 12-0.
Well, we saw the turnovers by Iowa in the first half, right? They didn't handle ball pressure very well. Maybe Lindsay Whalen's over there thinking about when will be the right time to try to speed up her defense again and to get Iowa out of rhythm.
Bello able to bury the defender for the layup.
Really good work before the ball got in her hands. 2 feet in the paint, that's 2 points.
Gustafson gets a catch inside, and Megan Gustafson now with 19 points.
1 offensive rebound. She didn't use the glass. Every other basket has been off the board.
Johnson, no. Nice touch by the Hawkeyes. Nia Davis will check back in for Iowa. Can they close out a game? They couldn't do it on the road against Purdue over the weekend. They may have another chance here on the road at Minnesota. The team picked in the preseason second behind Maryland in the Big Ten.
Another good bury inside by Bello. She has the defender completely in the rim. Watch this right here. She's going to put Mackenzie Meyer in the basket.
Double-double now for Bello. 11 points, 10 boards.
Here's the full court pressure I was talking about. I like it by Lindsay Whalen. Pick up the tempo a little bit. See if you can turn them over.
Davis into Meyer, Gustafson. They're showing some good patience here. Step back to the inside to go with the right hand.
What a beautiful counter. And then Sevilla is going to pick up that foul free throws, which means full court pressure is coming.
Seeing a lot of left from Gustafson coming back to the right here.
Watch this, this is beautiful. Fake, step through, gorgeous. And you know what? In the WNBA, it's really hard to bring a double to anybody on the block. She might be undersized, but she's crafty at 6'3".
You talking first round, top 5, top 10?
No, I'm not talking top 5 or top 10 maybe. I'm thinking
she could be a really nice piece of the puzzle though for somebody.
Really good, high second round maybe. I don't know, I haven't gotten that far in putting my draft together. This is going to be a draft based on need because there's a lot of people that could go #1.
Vegas has the #1 pick again.
3rd year in a row.
Kelsey Plum, Asia Wilson. Who's got next?
Bill Lambier's got next, the head coach of the Las Vegas Aces.
#5 down on the low block in gold has one shoe on right now. She's got the ball, the fadeaway.
A foul. Shoeless.
How about that move on one good sneaker? That's going to be the 3rd foul on Hannah Stewart. They'll give Ty a chance to lace him up, the junior out of Southfield, Michigan. Her best game so far in Minnesota's best win. 20 points, 18 rebounds against Syracuse. Charlie Creme's bracketology came out today, and right now they are one of the first 4 teams out of the bracket. 6 Big Ten teams are in right now, according to Charlie, but Minnesota is not one of them. The heave to beat the buzzer. We are heading to the 4th quarter where the Iowa Hawkeyes leading Minnesota 56-49. Looking for the big road win. A huge 3rd quarter for Iowa, racing an 8-point halftime deficit behind the play of Tania Davis. Minnesota had an 8-point lead at the half. Iowa scorched the nets, outscoring Minnesota 24-8 in that 3rd quarter, led by Tania Davis. 7 third-quarter turnovers for Minnesota. And a big reason why they only made 3 shots. And now trail 7 at home with 10 minutes to go. Charlie Creme has Iowa in the field right now, Minnesota out of the field. As we get deeper into conference play, Gustafson, pretty spin move inside. Megan Gustafson, the All-America candidate's got 23.
Good poise by Iowa to handle the ball against pressure. And then there's a steal by Doyle.
Doyle with the finish.
Terrific anticipation, jumping the passing lane.
There's your bracketology right there. Maryland, Iowa, Rutgers, Indiana, Michigan State, and Purdue on that list. Lamke, good catch down on the block.
Stewart has 3 personal fouls, and she can't afford to pick up another one here early in the 4th.
Hand check on the perimeter.
The backdoor opportunity is going to be available. One of the things that Lisa Bruner's team did coming off the timeout in the first half is they went backdoor on Minnesota, because you can see Minnesota's up the line, overplaying, playing very aggressive ball pressure.
We'll call a trip on Bello. Ty, who's got a double-double already tonight, picks up her 2nd. Excuse me, that's now her 3rd.
She's been really good tonight.
Davis and Gustafson.
Lamke's got 3 fouls as well. That one didn't hit the glass.
Hit the rim several times on the way down, and it's up to an 11-point advantage.
It's amazing to have the footwork and the finesse with the bodying that's going on inside. She's an incredible beast, Megan Gustafson.
Comes from a small town of Fort Wayne, Wisconsin, and she said, you know what, I've been playing against double and triple teams my whole life. And she's got a lot of experience in traffic, doesn't she, Debbie?
Yeah.
And just seems so at ease with it.
She really knows how to play. And so does Kathleen Doyle, who's had a terrific 2nd half.
Knocking down the 3, and Iowa's pulling away. It's a 2-touchdown lead. Gustafson got a piece of it.
If you're Iowa now, you don't step on the brakes here. You keep pushing.
Stewart couldn't finish inside. It's a 9-2 Hawkeye run.
Minnesota can't afford many empty possessions. And there's the 4th triple of the game by Pitts, and she claps her hands at her teammates. Come on, let's go.
Trying to reignite the fire for Minnesota. Pitts now with 16. And Stewart, boy, it's coming easy right now for Iowa.
Five triples in the game for Minnesota, 3 for Iowa, and Brunson mishandles the basketball out of bounds.
Lindsay Whalen trying to find some answers right now with her Golden Gophers trailing by 13. They've turned it over 10 times in the 2nd half, so something that they were able to take advantage of in the first half tonight. Now it's turned against them in the 2nd half. Davis finds Doyle. And that's going to be an over-the-back foul. on Ollinger.
The Iowa personal number 43, Amanda Olinger. That is her third
That's the
personal
third on Ollinger.
team foul.
See if they can get Kenesha Bell heated up a little bit. 16 for Bell, but just 2 in the second half for their leading scorer. Here she is, 23 in gold. Flashes to the middle, gets inside, and the trip to the line.
Good flash to that playmaking spot. Trying to get to the logo where that Big Ten logo is in the middle of the floor. Perfect timing on the flash as well.
That's the third foul on Doyle.
You got to anticipate full court pressure here if you're Iowa.
Iowa substitution 3, Mackenzie Meyer.
Bell's got to knock down this second free throw to help them set it up.
Lisa Bluter counters with 3 guards on the floor just to give Doyle a rest. Puts Meyer back in with Tania Davis and Civilian.
Not the second. Gustafson hit the deck hard, tripping over her teammate. Hopefully it's seems to be all right. She collided with her teammate. Davis turning up the floor after Davis had hit the deck.
Or she just didn't see her. Well, she's small anyway.
Fell awkwardly, and I think it's more of a smile of embarrassment than anything. She appears to be all right. Brunson was calling for a trap that never came. Got to try and create some pressure here with their defense and make Iowa uncomfortable. Another triple. This one for Davis.
What a game for Tania Davis. Wow. He has been terrific. He made a lot of uncontested shots tonight. She's made some tough ones as well.
She's got 19 points. Iowa in the second half, Debbie, is shooting 67%. Gustafson now a dozen rebounds to go along with her 25 points, so she's at her season average, which is best in the country.
Late in the shot clock, you've got to be able to get the rebound here if you're Minnesota.
Gustafson, little mid-range.
There you go. There's a stop. Now, can you get a couple of stops in a row? You got to look to play inside that zone.
Yeah, they're using a lot of time here as well. Pitts deep three. They'll get another possession out of it. Pitts will try again, short. And then Pitts runs into Hawkeye, and I think they might get the foul here on Iowa. Called on Civilian.
Well, watch Pitts comes crashing in from the top.
They called that on 5 black. It's her third. Gustafson will check out, probably just momentarily, with just over 5 to play. Oh, they missed Kaposhi, wide open. Bello, pretty spin, but not the finish.
Yeah, I like this right here by Brunson. Pick up full court, man-to-man, try to turn them over, make them work deep into the shot clock, especially with that Gustafson on the floor. Oh, almost a steal.
I was able to work that clock down again. 5 on the shot. Davis.
Offensive
turns it over.
Turnover, Beth. I'm sorry.
G out today. There are your top 2 seeds by region, and it's going to be real interesting, Debbie. We've talked about the parity around the country this year.
I think any 8 of these teams could eventually be number ones. I think that's how balanced the season is, and that we don't have a truly dominant team to me. You know, that's why I'm not a fan of the 4 regionals, because if economics matters, we won't have 4 regionals. We'll take the Sweet 16 and put it in a place like Vegas, which I've suggested for the last 8 years. If economics does matter, and we keep going to these 4 regionals, it's unfair to the fans of college basketball, because right now, like in many years past, UConn fans are the only ones that know they can buy their tickets right now to go to the regional in Albany. The rest of the country doesn't know where they're going. And it's unfair to the fans of college basketball, especially on the women's side, because they like to be fans of their teams. You don't know until Selection Monday. I think it's unfair. And if we keep putting regionals in 4 spots where the 4 or so-called top teams are, that to me is...
Geographically, yeah.
That's collusion to me, because you're colluding to keep the same teams at the top by putting the regionals in the same places. If economics matters, we won't do this anymore. We'll make a change. If economics doesn't matter, then it's collusion. Top teams stay in their region. UConn fans are the only ones that know where they're going. And are you really going to put UConn as a 2? What if they lose a couple games? Yeah. Are you going to put them as a 2 in Albany?
Probably.
Wow. Well, you're not going to put.
You can start to almost pencil Notre Dame in for Chicago, Oregon or Stanford. I mean, I'm sure the Oregon fans would love to be in Portland for the West region.
But you won't know until Monday night.
And teams like Baylor and Louisville and NC State and Mississippi State. You could go to several different places. Somebody always has to get sent out of region.
Or if you're a fan of college basketball, you know the Sweet 16 is going to be in one site, under one format. You can, right now, make your plans.
And then move on with your team to the Final Four down in Tampa.
And the timeline wouldn't be any different. If the Sweet 16 ended up in Vegas with 4 teams to go to the Final Four, it's the same timeline for you to take your team to the Final Four, to go follow your team to the Final Four, should we have had 4 regionals. I'm thinking about the fan. I'm thinking about the fans of our game. You really want to grow the fan base? Let's do it. Let's make a change.
Have the ability to be in the forefront of that change right now. Hits short on the shot. Lamke able to clean it up. So just over 3 minutes here for Minnesota to try and make a move. They are back within 10. Almost able to force the turnover there. Doyle. Off the crossover, gets into the lane, pulls up, no. Oh, and it comes right back to her. And Iowa can work the clock.
And Megan Gustafson just continues to do her job. She doesn't get rattled by the physical nature of that position. As a matter of fact, Lisa Bluder told us she loves playing on the block.
There she is with 29 points now. And a turnover.
Tania Davis right there in the middle of it. What a heads-up play. You know, Ari McDonald in Arizona was the leading scorer in the nation, and Megan Gustafson had her by 1/10 of a point coming into the game tonight.
Big second half turnaround for the Iowa Hawkeyes. They haven't turned it over. Everybody's been involved offensively.
And their late clock execution has been terrific in this second half.
Gustafson gets by Lamke for the lay-in. 31 for Megan.
And Lisa Bluder does such a great job of isolating her. They don't panic late in the shot clock. They know where to throw the basketball to get 2.
Brunson looking for 3. That won't go. And it's a 13th rebound for Gustafson. So the Iowa Hawkeyes trying to put the finishing touches on a road win against Minnesota here at the Barn tonight. been a good week. We saw number 1 and number 2 last Thursday. This Thursday, Debbie, we're going to see the top 2 teams in the SEC. Our Thursday night showcase will be South Carolina and Mississippi State.
Cannot wait. Dawn Staley's team, South Carolina's won 8 in a row. She's got Bianca Cuevas more healthy and playing 3-point guards to start games. Kiki Herbert-Harrigan has been averaging 12 and a half and 8 since she stepped into the starting lineup 8 games ago, and all they've done is win. Congratulations, too, going out to Brenda Fries at Maryland, picking up her 500th career win this week. And how about Wolfpack at NC State, staying undefeated? What a
at 17-0.
Look, Westmore right now is the coach of the year nationally. They're down 3 guards to injury, 2 starters in the backcourt, and all they do is continue to win. It's because he develops players, he knows how to scout, he's got a plan, does a terrific job adjusting in the game.
And how about what's going on right now in Knoxville? A 3-game losing streak, 2 of those at home. It's their worst in 33 years. And they are really struggling to find some answers right now at Tennessee.
I was there for 2 of them this week, on Sunday and on Thursday, and their losses to Missouri and Kentucky at home. Those players have enough talent and skill. They've got to play with a little bit more want to for Holly Warlick. I've been impressed with the second half for Lisa Bluder's team. I thought the very first possession of the second half set the tone. They were poised, they moved the ball, they got it inside to Gustafson, and she went to work.
Gustafson with the exclamation point. What a great moment for her. Pretty much her entire hometown relocating to Minneapolis tonight. They hopped on a bus and all came down to watch her.
I mean, this is the first time we've seen her make a move from the high post. All game, she's been doing work on the block. And Lampke's like, what can I possibly do? You know what that's called? Hard work. When no one's in the gym watching and you're in there by yourself working on your skill. Scoring the basketball is the hardest skill in the game. And more people need to get in the gym and shoot.
That is going to be a rambunctious 3.5-hour ride home to Port Wing. They have seen a show from Megan. 34 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, a few block shots. And now for Minnesota, the struggle becomes a 4-game losing streak that they will have to try and fight their way out of. Reminder that SportsCenter tonight comes your way on ESPN after the Texas-Kansas game. Get you updated on Zion Williamson. He did return tonight playing for Duke against Syracuse. The numbers behind James Harden's scoring streak. And all right. We got a little Matthew McConaughey tonight on SVP. Yeah. Also on your ESPN app, folks.
Down 8 at the half, and Iowa has totally turned this thing around to start the third quarter.
They got good veteran leadership on the perimeter. They didn't panic when they were down, when the turnovers were really hurting them, and it's been a different team here in the second half for Iowa, and that'll do it. Impressive on the road as they come into the barn and beat Minnesota 81-63. 34 points for Gustafson, 21 for Davis, double digits for Stewart and Doyle, and 67% shooting in the second half.